What do you actually want your life to look like? Not what makes sense, not what everyone else needs, not what you have convinced yourself is enough. What do you want? Because your desires may not be random, they may be clues, and that is what we are going to be talking about today on Infinite You. Welcome, beautiful souls. I'm Dr. Sheri, spiritual psychologist, multidimensional mindset mentor, and human design practitioner. And here on Infinite You, we talk about identity, psychology, energy, human design, conscious creation, and what it means to become your next level version of yourself so you can create more of what you truly want in your life. And if conversations like this resonate with you, I would love for you to hit subscribe, hit like, and let's dive right in. I think one of the most powerful questions that a woman can ask herself is, what do I want my life to look like? Not just, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to buy? What do I want to prove? What do I want other people to see? But what do I actually want my life to look like? How do I want to feel when I wake up? What kind of energy do I want to live in? What kind of home do I want to create? What kind of relationships do I want to experience? How do I want to feel in my body? What kind of work lights me up? What kind of beauty do I want around me? What kind of freedom do I want to have? What kind of woman do I want to become? And I think a lot of women stop asking themselves these questions, not because they don't have dreams, not because they don't have desires, not because they don't have vision, but because life gets loud, responsibilities get loud, other people's needs get loud, survival gets loud, and somewhere along the way, managing life replaces imagining life. And so you start making decisions based on what needs to be done, what has to be handled, what everyone else expects, what seems realistic, what feels safe, what doesn't disrupt too much. And before you realize it, your life starts getting built around maintenance instead of creation, around responsibility instead of desire, around what is familiar instead of what is truly aligned for you. And this is where I want you to pause with me, because when was the last time you let yourself want something without immediately editing it, without saying, this is too much, that's unrealistic, this is selfish, this is not practical, this is not available to me? Who am I to want that? Or I should just be grateful for what I have. And we all know gratitude is beautiful. It is a really, really high frequency. It's a vibration that is a great place to live in. Gratitude definitely matters, but gratitude should not become a cage. You can be grateful for your life and still desire more life. You can love what you have and still feel called into expansion. And you can appreciate where you are and still know that something inside of you is asking to be expressed. And this really matters because I want you to know that that calling, the desires you're feeling, that next idea, the light bulb going off over your head, it all matters because your desires are not always random. Sometimes they're information, they're clues. Sometimes the thing that you want is pointing you toward the feeling, the vibration, the identity, the experience, or the expression that your soul is asking you to create. So let's just make it real. Maybe you want more money, but underneath that, what you really want is freedom, or spaciousness, or choice, or security, or the ability to support yourself without feeling constantly stretched. Or maybe you want a beautiful home, but underneath that, what you really want is peace, beauty, safety, room to breathe, an environment that reflects who you are. Or maybe you want better health, but underneath that, what you really want is vitality, trust in your body, movement, energy, the ability to participate in your own life. And the same is true for wanting a relationship. But underneath that, what you really want is partnership, intimacy, laughter, being seen, being chosen, building a life with someone you love. Or maybe you want a business. But underneath that, what you really want is expression, purpose, income, freedom, contribution, creativity, a way to bring your gifts into the world. So the question is not only what do I want? The deeper question is, what experience am I trying to create? What part of me is trying to come alive? What version of me is this desire calling forward? Because the thing is not always the thing. The thing is often a doorway. And this is where I think we have to look at desire and creation in a multidimensional way, because your desires are not separate from your body. They're not separate from your psychology, from your energy, from your identity, from your soul. When you feel called to more, that is not just a thought in your mind. You feel it in your body. You may feel a contraction around what you have outgrown. You may feel an expansion when you imagine what is possible. That hell yes feeling that I always talk about. You may feel a deep inner knowing long before you can logically explain it. You may feel the difference between the life you are managing and the life that you are here to create. And really, truly, that matters, because we are not multidimensional beings. We are not just brains or bodies or personalities or the roles we play. We are multidimensional, creating in a material world on this beautiful physical plane, this beautiful planet called Earth. And so when you ask, what do I want my life to look like? It is not asking a shallow question. You are asking a creation question. You are asking an energetic question, an identity question, a soul question. You are asking, what life wants to be expressed through me now? And this is why. And that is why this question is so powerful, because it brings the spiritual into the material. And it says, my soul is not separate from my daily life. My energy is not separate from my choices. My identity is not separate from my results. And my desires are not separate from my creation. So I want you to pause for a second. And if you feel called to, tell me in the comments, what do you want more of in your life right now? Let yourself name it, because naming what you want is often the first moment when you stop pretending that you don't want it. So here's a simple practice I want to give you. Take out your journal and write. If I were completely honest, I want my life to look like ... And then let yourself write without editing. Let it be beautiful. Let it be practical. Let it be luxurious, simple, spiritual, material. Let it be yours. Maybe you want land. Maybe you want a beautiful home, a peaceful nervous system, more money. You want a relationship that feels nourishing. You want to write. You want to travel. You want to garden. You want to feel strong in your body. You want to build something. You want to slow down. You want to create something that helps other people. Let yourself tell the truth, and then ask yourself one more question. What have I been living from that makes this feel unavailable? What have I been living from that makes this feel unavailable? That is where your breakthrough begins, because sometimes the issue is not that you don't know what you want. Sometimes the issue is that you have been living from a story, playing a role in that story that makes you what you want feel too far away, too unrealistic, too selfish, too late, too much, or not for you. And once you can see that story, you can begin to choose differently. So I want you to remember this. Wanting more does not mean you are ungrateful. Wanting more does not mean you are selfish. Wanting more does not mean that you are chasing empty things. Sometimes wanting more means more of you is ready to be expressed through love, creativity, peace, beauty, purpose, freedom, passion, aliveness, more life. And I think that this is where so many women get stuck because they feel like they have to justify their desires. They have to make them sound practical or spiritual or noble or acceptable. But what if your desires, like I said, are invitations? What if they are trying to show you where your life has become too small? What if they are trying to show you who you are becoming? Not because you need to become worthy, but because you are ready to become more fully expressed in this beautiful life. And so if this is landing for you, like I said, I'd love for you to hit subscribe, hit like, definitely comment. What do you want more of? And this is exactly why I created the Quantum Identity Playbook, because once you begin naming what you want, the next step is noticing the stories, the beliefs, the identity patterns that have been shaping your current reality. And when you're living in there, you can't create what you want more of in that same story, that same identity. And so the playbook is designed to help you see the loop, make the pivot, and decide to begin creating from who you really are. And I will link that below along with my free newsletter. And I am creating an upcoming masterclass all about your next level breakthrough. And I will put the link in the description box below when that becomes available pretty soon, like in the next few days. I think I can make that happen. So before you go, I want to leave you with this. Remember, your desires may not be random. They may be clues. They may be invitations, and they may be showing you what you are meant to create next. Listen to the whispers of your soul, and I will see you all next time, beautiful souls. Namaste.